Hello, you're watching News9 Live. BJP is celebrating 9 years of Modi Sarkar, or government at the centre. Prime Minister Modi's charisma has won most elections for the BJP at the national and state levels. There has been a record. There is no gainsaying that fact. However, the recently concluded Karnataka elections do not seem to say what has oft been repeated. Modi hai, to mumkin hai. PM Modi's immense popularity was clearly not enough to salvage the BJP, particularly in Karnataka. Modi's roadshow is proof enough the kind of fan following that he has, both politically and even otherwise. Now, an editorial in RSS-mouthpiece Organiser, which analysed BJP's defeat in Karnataka, says that the charisma of Prime Minister and the utility of Hindutva as ideological glue would not be sufficient for the BJP to win elections without a strong leadership and effective delivery at the regional level. This article also highlights the corruption charges against the BJP-led government in Karnataka and also anti-incumbency as key factors for having lost the elections. Is Modi factor alone not really enough to win elections for the BJP? Does the party need to up its ante ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections? Let's talk about this particular topic. And you know, it's almost like reversing a paradigm. It's like exploding a myth which had actually become reality. In the studio with me, my colleague Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, you know, because it's an organizer story, it gains a lot of credence because Modi hai to mumkin hai. And I'm not just speaking about the organizer, but you know, even political experts, analysts had always said that the Modi charisma is such that it breaks all barriers. So what has really changed? Has Karnataka made the change inevitable?
I would say, Sudha, that, you know, for long I have been a believer in the fact that, like in the last year and a half, that, you know, the regional card dents Modi's popularity. Regional card in the sense the regional parties like TMC and others who are very strong electorally, they take on Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his popularity, and are able to defeat BJP. Same happens in Delhi and couple of other places. And the regional leadership of Congress party. If the Congress leadership, the central leadership doesn't tinker much or doesn't make statement which kind of makes the path of the regional leadership queer, the performance of the regional leaders and the Congress state unit is much better than what the central leadership would have envisaged or would have helped them to gain ground. This was shown in Himachal Pradesh, where, you know, Rahul Gandhi's presence in Himachal Pradesh was minimum. In Karnataka also, it was not to that level where, you know, you can say that Rahul Gandhi played a stellar part in the scripting Congress's emphatic victory. And I think, you know, what this article says is something which is being debated within the BJP circle for quite a while now, about how can you just do away with the leadership, state leadership, just because you want to effect a change. Right. And when do you effect the change?
Right.
Not right before the election. And you know, the way they went about B.S. Yedurappa, the way they went about many things, I think what Organiser is writing is something which is out in the open.
Right. But you know, the thing is that because it's the Organiser, and you know, you have covered the BJP for several years now, Brijesh, so I'm asking you. When Modi took over back then, you know, everyone said here is a Prime Minister of the BJP who really does not listen to the RSS. The RSS can keep saying, I mean, you can explode that myth also. He says he has a mind of his own, he electorally, because with RSS, apparently, RSS, you know, projects itself as a socio-cultural outfit which no kind of involvement in politics. So they said that it's really not influencing Modi so much. But this article now in the Organiser, you know, any mouthpiece, whether it is Murusoli in Tamil or here, it has its own gravitas, right? Or samna, you know.
No,
so do you think that RSS is sending him a message now? That pipe down?
Well, you know, I completely agree with you because I'm a big proponent of this theory when you people say that, you know, RSS is the one who gets you vote as a last mile connect or gets the voters on the ground and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is that it always requires, any kind of experiment always requires a catalyst. In the BJP case, the catalyst is Narendra Modi. If the RSS was this powerful, or this influential in shaping or ensuring electoral victories for the BJP would have formed their government long back with an absolute majority. It never happened.
Right.
It took the charisma and the popularity and the connect of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to take BJP where the BJP is. So I don't think that the RSS can exert any kind of pressure, and he is as RSS as any RSS guy would be. It's not like he has come from some outside this thing. He knows the mechanism of RSS like anybody. So the point is that yes, what the magazine has written, I mean these are valid criticism, because they also feel that even if you're very popular, there has to be a stretch. There has to be a point where your stretch has to be stopped to save you for bigger battles, rather than fighting every single battle at the state level, at the taluka level, Vidhan Parishad ke wo छोटे चुनाव हो रहे हैं मेयर के लेवल पे, वहां भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी है. So there's a limit to which you can exploit the sentiment about a person. So that is the reason why, and in several states it's demonstrated electorally so beautifully that you will be shocked. In the state of Delhi, for example, in Vidhan Sabha, in the assembly elections, Aam Aadmi Party beats BJP hollow, despite the whole BJP might sitting here. But when it comes to Lok Sabha election, it's 7-0. So it's like the people have a connect with Modi. Even in this election also, I can like I'm willing to place a bet about the fact that BJP will do much better in Lok Sabha, because there the connect is, there the thought process is, boss, I am not voting for BJP, I am voting for Modi. Right now what is happening is that the problem with the BJP, what happened in the state of Karnataka also, is that the last minute tinkering of people who thought that they should bring about organizational change. Usually changes are done with enough time in advance for the new party, the new people to settle in on. But that space was devoid.
Right. I'm going to put you in a spot, because you have been Rajesh, discussing Karnataka for the longest time, and I've been in these debates with you. I remember the day when you said, Sudha, look at the Congress, tomorrow it's going to put its foot in its mouth, and it pretty much happened. But before that, in the context of this Organiser magazine, I'm going to play you two bites. One is Narendra Modi, and of course the other is Organiser for the first time said that the BJP is facing corruption charges. Listen to these two bites, then I come introduce you to the guest, then go back to my colleague Brijesh Pandey.
एकदम मेरा पर्सनल काम है, जरा हाथ ऊपर करके बताइए, करेंगे? पीछे से भी हाथ ऊपर उठना चाहिए, करेंगे? सब लोग करेंगे? अच्छा, ऐसा करो, अपना मोबाइल फोन निकालो, उसकी फ्लैश लाइट चालू करके मुझे बताइए, मेरा एक काम करोगे? हर एक की लाइट चालू है तो मैं देखूंगा, करेंगे? करेंगे?
क्या ये दुख की बात नहीं है और ये शर्म की बात नहीं है कि जो कर्नाटका प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है. ये नाम किसी दूसरी पार्टी ने नहीं दिया, ये प्रदेश के कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स ने दिया. प्रदेश के कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स जो आत्महत्या करने लगे क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा कि उनको इतनी घूस देनी पड़ती है सरकार को कि कमा नहीं पा रहे.
So this is what we are talking about, the Modi factor not enough, as in that is what the Organiser piece says, that the Modi charisma is kind of waning. It's on the wane, and the BJP really needs to rethink and perhaps tap at local issues. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, is now joining us. Gautam, very nice to have you on the show. The Organiser, for the first time, we all think that the mouthpieces are actually mouthpieces, but apparently not, because it has said very clearly that the charisma is waning off, and as of now it seems like it was proven in Karnataka. The BJP really needs to hit the ground running and really be focusing on local issues. Your viewpoint, does the Organiser surprise you, Gautam?
I think I really like the Organiser article. It's blunt. It's stated it like it is. It doesn't really go as far as I would like, because I think the BJP has been ignoring its shortcomings for quite a while. Bengal, where exactly what the Organiser said, the local organization has to be strong. They are not ruling, of course, in Bengal, but it has to hold up its end of the stick, which it completely failed in. Himachal with Nadda coming from Himachal, what a mess. And then Karnataka.
You said it.
a
I'm
rout.
sorry, Gautam. I have to really pat my colleague. I can't reach to him. Maybe I should go across and pat him. But Brijesh always said, Sudha, don't forget, Nadda is from Himachal. But what happened? Go on, Gautam.
Well, you know, Himachal he lost, and the BJP glossed it over. The High Command glossed it over. Karnataka, not a word out of the High Command. Look at the route. Congress has come back like it never left, at least as far as Karnataka went. And still, the whole point is you cannot just rely on Modi and Shah to come and do a blitzkrieg. You've got to do some work on the ground. And corruption, which was meant to be, you know, the hallmark of BJP, that we are na khane dunga and all that. What happened? It went on for months and nobody did a thing. What happened to Shah? What happened to Nadda? What happened to the big man himself?
Right. He's almost echoing what the organizer is saying actually, you know. Gautam, I'll come back to you. Yet another guest, Brijesh, is joining us, Suresh Kochattil. We will say hello to him. But I want to ask you something. Don't you think Modi is also pressured a lot? You know, if all the onus is on him to correct, like you said, local, bipole, ye bhi kar lo, panchayat, sab kuch kar lo, there is a lot of a pressure which is created on him, right?
See,
How many rabbits will he pull out, Brijesh?
I would say that, you know, when you're this powerful and when your popularity is this big, you don't feel any pressure at all. What I would say is that what this election has done is something, you know, which we also discussed in this studio, because the problem is, like as it used to happen with Congress at one point of time, that, you know, if you have a powerful regional satrap, what I will do, it's like cutting your own nose to spite the face. They would cut that leadership, they would remove that guy, they would make him weak, and 10 years later, 15 years later, the kind of rout Congress is facing across the country is a testimony to those acts.
Right.
The same thing is happening in the BJP. You know, all the powerful regional satraps have been sidelined because, you know, on the pretext of either a new leadership or the 75-year-old, whichever is convenient for you to argue. And the biggest elephant in the room was something which we have discussed at least 4 or 5 times, was Vasundhara Raje.
Absolutely.
So, in the last 3 days, Vasundhara Raje has met BL Santosh twice or thrice, cementing what I have been saying for a very long time, that come what may, the BJP, if it antagonizes Vasundhara Raje, might stand to repeat Karnataka in Rajasthan, despite the Congress being in an absolute disarray, and they will beat Congress hollow if they have, if they fight the election under Vasundhara Raje. So, what organizer is saying, strong regional leader,
yes,
strong prime minister,
local
Congress
issues.
Congress is in complete disarray, and you have BJP romping home. And this is exactly now what the BJP is planning to do. There's a 3-day long meeting which is happening at the 6th Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg in the BJP central office as we speak. And Vasundhara has already met BL Santosh, who is like, the secretary organization. And they believe that now the BJP is also trying to reinvent themselves and trying to reach out to
Brijesh,
these.
tell me something. Is Suresh up? I mean, let's say hi to Suresh, and maybe, you know, I don't want him to wait. There he is. Suresh, hi. My colleague Brijesh is with me. Good to see you. And let me come to you. You know, just wait for 1 second. I just wanted to say hi to both of you and not make you wait, as it were. Brijesh, tell me something. BL Santosh, who's not really in great books so far as Karnataka is concerned, seems to be the go-to man for Rajasthan. So he still has that halo.
He is the organization secretary, so he has to. I mean, you know, he has the post. So there's whether you are in good books or not, there's no denying the power of the post. So if you are the organizational secretary, things have to be routed through you, and that is the reason why he's meeting key players. But what has happened is that what Karnataka has done is that it has given Vasundhara Raje a new lease of life. That now the Congress, the BJP also feels that if they want to do to Vasundhara what they did to Yadurappa, they might end up repeating their fate.
So
and
smart.
They don't want to compromise on the winning streak, and that is the reason why a lot of structural changes in the offing, I guess in another 48 to 72 hours or day more max, you know, we'll get to see a lot of organizational changes which will ensure that the changes which BL Santosh and others wanted to do in Karnataka, now they'll be doing in states which are still like, you know, 6-8 months
Getting
to
ready.
go or 10 months to go.
Suresh, we were discussing the organizer article. We just spoke to Gautam also, you know, where the organizer has written very clearly that the BJP really needs to do a few things. One, not really rely on Modi's charisma forever, because they have the context, of course, the kernel of it is Karnataka, because it's not worked in Karnataka. Also, how corruption charges really kind of stymied all the chances that the BJP had. And also the third thing is that it needs to really focus on the local issues. So do you think it's a rap on the knuckle, as it were, because the organizer, as we know, has a kind of, you know, gravitas? I mean, it is like looking at it almost like the two of you, Gautam and Suresh, like political analysts.
Well, let me do a different spin here. This is something that I've heard over the last 5-6 years within the BJP, is that Prime Minister Modi doesn't really bend backwards for the RSS. Now, the reason being that he's slightly senior to Mohanji Bhagwat, and he doesn't really do, you don't see the trips to Nagpur happen often, as was the case before. Maybe Vajpayee regime or even before that. Now, there's a reason for it. The reason is that BJP all along felt that RSS was its bulwark. It was a booth management of the RSS, the do parchi system that worked. And knowing Prafulla Ketkar well, I think he has basically tried to tell BJP, look, you cannot depend on Modi alone to win you the elections. And this is something that we have been all saying, isn't it? That Modi cannot win you the elections. For example, the BJP doesn't even go to the RSS now to get the list uploaded. One time it was a big thing that the list of candidates had to go to the RSS headquarters and get approval. Whether it really goes there or not is a different matter, as long as people like BL Santosh are sitting in the electoral committee room or whatever the election committee room and deciding who the candidates will be. But I think what has happened now is that they're trying to pull Modi a bit back to tell him, boss, you depend on us, because if you don't depend on us, you cannot do what you want. I mean, there has been instances where Amit Shah had his way in selecting certain people, selecting certain issues.
Right.
And you know, the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. At ground level, I heard this murmur among the BJP Karyakartas saying that, look, you ignored your core voter base. I think that is what the most important thing. That is where I differ with, Ketkar, because it's BJP has ignored its core voter base. It has gone after Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is not what the party wants. The party cadre wants something else. The party cadre feels like we have been short charged. We are another Congress party now. The culture of Congress has crept into BJP. 2 days earlier, I mean, I'm in Hyderabad, and naturally I'm out of the city. I mean, I work in the city. 2 BJP ministers came to address. One was the leader and one was the BJP minister. I don't take the names. They called a social influencers meet. At 5 o'clock, the minister lands up at 4 o'clock for a change, addresses the meeting, and by the time the entire crowd comes in, he's gone. Now, the people who took leave or, got out of the work day to the working day, they felt damn angry because they said, look, we have been short-charged. We're coming here to help out the BJP, and these people don't even prefer to wait for us. Same thing happened day before yesterday. Again, one more meeting. And here again, it is not a minister, very, very senior person of the BJP. Don't want to name him again. He came, addressed, and then suddenly they said, oh, he's got a flight to catch to Delhi, so he's going off. Now, imagine the state of the people who come there. And this is where BJP needs to be extremely careful, that it needs to first take care of its cadre. And I think Prafulla is very clear on that point, that local leadership is something that is stressing on exactly
So, Brijesh, on this, you wanted to say,
no,
please, go ahead.
I don't agree with him on certain issues. First of all, you have to also understand that, when you talk of RSS being influencing you or you influencing the RSS, you have to understand where exactly do you figure in the power equation. When Vajpayee was paying obeisance to RSS is because Vajpayee was heavily dependent on RSS. He did not have an absolute majority on its own. This is not the case, and Vajpayee was not a quintessential RSS guy. You never see him. Modi is a quintessential RSS guy, and Modi is the first time, he is the person who got BJP an absolute majority, not once but twice, and is almost knocking in the third term. So that power equation can never be the same. If you expect him to behave like what Vajpayee did, is something which is never going to happen. People write all the kind of spin stories that how RSS is instrumental in getting you this and that and all. It is there. I'm not denying them their due share. But the fact is that you always require one catalyst which takes you beyond one situation. The same thing is what is happening in the state of Uttar Pradesh. He's been winning election because he's sweeping Uttar Pradesh, because out of 80 seats, you're winning 73, 60
Right,
plus.
right.
And they are key, like in UP and Bihar. If you take them together, it's like, 120 seats.
Right.
They're winning those seats is not because they are only catering to their core voters. They're winning their seats because they're expanding the calculation. They're winning the seats because, the OBCs, the Yadav minus OBCs,
Right.
the kind of dent they have made, the numbers which they are gaining from UP or other states is because of this.
Right.
No, there's no denying that they have to do certain, calibration vis-a-vis the behavior of their local leader, as he was pointing
Suresh
out.
was saying.
But equation-wise, he has expanded the social net of the BJP, which otherwise BJP has been lacking severely. And that is the reason he is getting an absolute majority back after back.
So, Gautam, I want to bring you in here and maybe bring in back the focus on the Organiser article. The thing is, Suresh and Suresh was explaining about how the local cadre, the cadres feel very ignored, they are marginalized, maybe they are not given the same kind of importance that they should be given. Okay. Do you think that somehow the Organiser article, I am not saying it said it, but maybe reading between lines, it is what they did to Yediyurappa in Karnataka, and maybe that is what they had to pay a price. Here is a quintessential RSS man, a man who went, we know the stories of him and Ishwarappa going in a bicycle and kind of spreading the message and going from one village to the salt of the earth. Yediyurappa, we all say tallest leader, but that tallest leader started at grassroots level. So do you think the Organiser article also dovetails what the BJP did, the central leadership did to B.S. Yediyurappa, Gautam?
Well, I think there are, I'm all for the Organiser article. I think it hits the nail on the head. And like I said, it doesn't go far enough. I think there's a great deal of arrogance and complacence that seems to have creeped in. This business of ignoring the cadres is foolish, and to think that they can win elections without the RSS rank and file, which is their biggest strength, is a mistake. And I think the idea that Modi thinks that this is so is probably not what Modi thinks. From what I see of most of the bigwigs in the BJP, almost all of them, with rare exceptions, have deep RSS links, and that is almost like a pre-qualification, a degree you have to have. If Modi doesn't watch it and he has to run a coalition, he'll have to do a Bajpai. So it's not a matter of whether he's different from Bajpai. He'll have to do a Bajpai unless he course corrects now.
Right. I mean, also, can I ask my colleagues to just put up that code graphics that they put about regional leadership, because I have a question to Brijesh, who knows the workings or the wiring of the BJP. Without strong leadership and effective delivery of the regional level, Prime Minister Modi's charisma, I guess it means that Hindutva as an ideological would not be sufficient. Regional leadership. Where is it, Brijesh? Much like Mrs. Gandhi, like you quoted the Congress party, and I am also going to ask Suresh this. If for everything you have to genuflect to, either Mr. Shah, not Nadda, you always explained it to me that it is always Modi, Shah, then Nadda. Sure. But then regional leadership कैसे होगी बॉस, क्योंकि हर चीज़ में आपको पूछना पड़ता है, आपको हर चीज़ में उनको परमिशन लेनी पड़ती है. तो what the Organiser article is saying is actually counterproductive.
See,
na?
what the Organiser is saying is something which has been echoed in every single editorial room or
Right.
anybody who has even a bit of a brain to understand politics. It's not like our Organiser has written something that we are like, oh my God, we are never aware of this. We have discussed it several times.
Yeah.
But one of the big reason why the Prime Minister showered, I would say, the kind of respect he did to Yediyurappa was to do the course correction. It was an attempt at course correction only. It was not love for the guy, but an attempt to course correct that he's holding hand of Yediyurappa, he's bowing before him, he's doing all kind of thing. It was just to do a course correction.
Right.
See, the problem is that I agree with both of the gentlemen that when it comes to, there has to be a degree of decentralization. But the fact is also that what Modi is a once in a lifetime phenomena. So what happens in 2024 is I don't know. But the fact of the matter is right now he stands still, this is the tallest leader. And in election after election, he has delivered you result. So like, his success ratio is Lok Sabha election 100-0. Even in Vidhan Sabha elections and all, in several, most important state like Uttar Pradesh, he won that election for you. The Congress, the BJP got the number of seats it has never got in their entire life. They never got this number of Lok Sabha seats even at the pinnacle of Ram Janmabhoomi temple, which resurrected the BJP, which made BJP what the BJP is.
Yes,
so I'm just saying that I agree with them that you require course correction. This is the reason why you remember when we spoke about Vasundhara Raje, that you cannot antagonize her. If you want to antagonize her, you are not going to win Rajasthan. You might end up losing it. And this is the reason why the course correction which we are talking about right now is a course correction which is kind of happening right now as we speak in the BJP central office here in Delhi, where a lot of deliberation is going on with all the Prant Pracharaks, all the persons who are like rooted in RSS or rooted in the organizational setup of the BJP and all. But one thing I would like to say clearly, that if you have a RSS background and you feel that is your ticket to the stardom, that is not happening there, And the biggest example of this is Nitin Gadkari.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing on your screen right now are RSS Karyakartas, workers of the RSS, but we are discussing the piece in the Organiser, which is the mouthpiece of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, that the Modi factor perhaps is not really enough anymore to win elections after elections, particularly assembly elections. Lok Sabha is a different animal altogether. I'm going to Suresh right now. Suresh, tell me something. What Brijesh was saying, tallest leader, 100-0 score. The thing is that somehow this monolithic character or person that the BJP has created, because you listen to any speech of Mr. Amit Shah, he says, Modi ji ke netritva mein ye chunav hum phir se jeet jayenge.
Not only Amit Shah,
everyone, but particularly Shah. He says this.
I just got up a television debate in a Telugu channel before I was driving home, and I just took the back of the envelope calculation of the party's meeting in Patna, of the seat they won in the last Lok Sabha election 2019. It's 135, including Congress. Now imagine Congress is going to lose badly in Kerala from 19 to something like 6 or 7. And where will it gain? It gains a bit in Karnataka. It's back to square one. I mean, that is where I think the Modi factor is coming in again, because there are certain states, and that's where BJP is extremely powerful, because it's the party that wins UP goes to the Lok Sabha. Simple as that.
Exactly.
And that is where BJP knows that UP is very powerful. Reason why UP needs to stay the focus. Let's Yogi Adityanath do what he wants to do. If it is an encounter that happens, so be it. Don't question every small thing that happens there. And he's delivering results. End of the day, you be a corporate marketing manager, sales manager, or you be a party chief. If you don't deliver results, you're out. Simple as that. And that we all know that. And that, I think, is what Modi's charisma is all about. I think there's a Tina factor that comes into play. That is exactly what the 135 seats is what all these opposition parties put together have. Even if they win 50 more, 100 more, they're still not there yet. That is the tragedy for the opposition party, the so-called alliance they're trying to cobble up. And that is where Modi ji's charisma works, Modi ji's appeal works. And even now, come in, let us admit it, when you put Rahul Gandhi and Modi ji face to face, it's very obvious what result you would get. And that is where BJP scores, and that is where BJP has an advantage.
Absolutely.
I think
yeah. Brijesh, I want to ask you something. Is it a kind of a geographical divide? It's an academic question. We have these debates outside. जो यूपी जीत गया वो दिल्ली जीत जाएगा. Of course, it's about how many seats you have, etc., etc. But I am talking about the political kind of, proclivity to it. You think Bengal, of course, has proven this time. I think Bengal will be steady. And all the South Indian states, up to Karnataka.
No, Bengal is also not steady.
No, it's not steady. But I am saying as of today, when we look at the political landscape, I will include Bengal, because I am going to ask Gautam, who hails from there, maybe, doesn't live there, but I am saying South Indian states particularly, whether it is Pinarayi, Karnataka, वो तो BJP मुक्त हो गया. So you think there is somewhere this kind of North has a cultural affinity, would you say?
I would not say that. See, the point is that when you use the word West Bengal, if you're talking about assembly election, I agree with you. But if you're talking about Lok Sabha election, I don't agree with you.
Assembly.
See, the point is that you have to also understand that BJP was never a big factor, never a factor, forget it being a big factor in the state or in the southern states. it had presence in the North Indian state. It never had a presence in South Indian states. The point is that, you like the guy, you don't like the guy. But the thing is that, that they are trying to push for a southern surge. They succeeded in Kerala, in Karnataka. They want to make a surge, or they want to make a grand entry in the state of Telangana. Chances are that they will not. But the fact is that they're trying. It's like you playing the game of cricket. You may be like Saurav Ganguly. On one side of the fence, you're God. On the other side of the fence, you are weak. But still, when you keep on scoring hundreds after hundred, it doesn't matter. Like, you may be called, as a most technically accomplished batsman, no. But as a very successful batsman, yes. This is what Modi has done. And what it has done is that it has taken the margins around in the North Indian states to apogee. The BJP or anybody in the country cannot better what the BJP has already done. At the peak of Ram Janmabhoomi agitation, the BJP never got an absolute majority. In fact, I don't know whether you remember or not, there was a big slogan which was coined when Akhilesh Yadav and when Mulayam Singh Yadav and Kashi Ram got together, and the slogan was Mile Mulayam Kashi Ram, Hawa mein ud gaye Jai Shri Ram. They trumped BJP. They defeated BJP electorally. But with this person, the kind of strides BJP has made is something which is unimaginable.
Right. And let me get Gautam here. Gautam, will you answer what I asked Brijesh, that is it a cultural, ideological divide, geographical divide, sometimes also ascertain your political ideology. So what the organizer says that, Modi's charm is just not enough anymore, you require more than that. In the South, it's not happened, they try their level best, but it's not happened. I do not know in the future if it will ever happen. Even Bengal as of today, it is Mamata all the way. So do you think it has something to do with the cultural divide as well, the way you think, the way you are?
Well, let's look at it this way. There are 42 Lok Sabha seats out of Bengal, and last time they won 18,
Exactly.
which is, not bad, but certainly not good. Now, what I believe is if you keep losing assembly elections, the perception of your invincibility, which even, let us say, 2 months ago was being spoken after Himachal went, because it was a small state, there wasn't so much of this being said, but now there's a lot more being said about the vulnerabilities of the BJP. If it keeps losing assembly elections, then the shibboleth which says that Lok Sabha elections are different from assembly elections, I think will be impacted. And it'll be harder and harder outside of the BJP states to get the requisite numbers. You'll get something, but they'll be less than impressive. And this could affect the overall tally, weaken BJP enough not to get a majority on its own, and then have to depend on the rest of the NDA, which is almost a non-entity, ragtag non-entity that will become assertive.
Right.
The Punjab has just said, the Shiromani Akali Dal said, okay, we'll ally with you. We'll ally with you because I think they can extract more in the 2024 Lok Sabha, because BJP may not, I'm not saying it won't, may not get a majority on its own.
Yeah.
But Gautam, I would just like to say one thing, that Chief, from being a party which just doesn't exist in Bengal, from there to 18 is a superlative performance as far as the Lok Sabha election is concerned. It's a superlative. It's almost winning 50% of the seats, boss. So it's like that.
That's history, but if you go into ancient history also, Gautam, we know 2 partitions in Bengal, and we know that it could be, it was communal at one time, so maybe the fault line still exists. Who knows? I do not know, but I don't look at...
It depends. When Mamata Banerjee leaves the stage, I agree with you. But till she's there, there's no chance, because of this very parochial thinking of people who live in West Bengal, like much of southern India, where they don't trust these people from outside.
Right. Suresh, let's get back to what the organizer says. I mean, if you had to say, what is it that you do not agree with, and what is it that you really sincerely, seriously agree with? Do you agree with the fact that the Modi charisma is not eternal? They have to think about a new theory which can really work, or do you think that it's more of regional satraps who have to be strengthened now?
Yeah, I think that is what Prafulla Ketkar's article actually says, isn't it? You need to build strong leadership at the local level. Now look at Telangana. It's a mess. Let's admit it. There is no strong leadership. But you brought in a very strong leader out of nowhere in Tamil Nadu in Annamalai. How did you manage that? You brought him out of from nowhere. I mean, ejected two party bigwigs from the state, made them governors and threw them out of Tamil Nadu. That's what you need to do. BJP has to build. If you say South, BJP has no hold. Let me remind you that in Kerala, BJP gets 16% vote share last time. Now, how did it manage? Because Hindu population is only 52%. Break the Dravidian culture, Dravidian vote bank in Tamil Nadu. You needed an Annamalai who started questioning, saying, what is wrong with being a Brahmin? Why are you criticizing Brahmin? Nobody talked this language before, but that is what it is. Ketkar doesn't say, Prafulla doesn't say that Modi cannot win your election. No, see, he says Modi plus Hindutva is not enough. We need something more. We need something new. We need something plus. And that is where the entire thing is coming in, saying that what is that plus that BJP can get? It's a strong leader. And Yogi Adityanath, Annamalai have all proved that that is possible. I mean, Annamalai still not won elections yet, but he's making a difference in that state. And that is most important. We need to invest in local leaders. Yediyurappa cannot be there for a long time. The party needs to find somebody who will take the party for the next 10, 15 years. It's done that in Tamil Nadu. It has done that in UP. It has not done that in Bihar. And it is still, I don't know, far away from doing it in states like, Punjab and other places where BJP actually has presence.
So let me turn to Brijesh now. Brijesh, which means that it is not just evolving or encouraging local leaders like K. Annamalai in Tamil Nadu, but it is also not to sideline the salt of the earth leaders whom they have, like for instance Yediyurappa, and you keep talking about Vasundhara Raje.
Well, I agree with the organizer's article when we are discussing assembly elections. I have to make that distinction. But I do not agree with the organizer article if we are talking about Lok Sabha. So when I am talking about Lok Sabha, when I am talking about assembly elections in the state of Rajasthan, it is absolutely correct. There is no way you can sideline Vasundhara, and the party has paid a price by sidelining Vasundhara. And this internecine struggle which goes on in the state of Rajasthan, where one set of leaders propped up to take on the established leader which is there in the state. But I think, if you are talking about Lok Sabha, I think, the Modi plus Hindutva pull is, I think, enough for the party to win the election. I don't see any real challenge. See, you have to also understand, there is not only Modi plus Hindutva, there is also a Tina factor, there is also a disarray, there's just no glue which binds the opposition leaders.
So but Gautam called it a shibboleth. Gautam, you still say that what Brijesh is saying is shibboleth. I mean, it's something that he makes a very clear distinction. He says, boss, there is a difference.
Of course, and then we cannot understand. See, the point is that you have a coalition in Uttar Pradesh where the Congress, which could barely win 3 seats, asks for 20 seats. It gets 16 seats. What it does, it ends up losing almost every single seat. They dent the powerful party, which is the regional Samajwadi party, and they dent their own electoral prospect. With this kind of this is my first day in boxing match, and I want to take on Mike Tyson. My head needs to be examined. The same way you have to assess your auqat before you go for the kill. So states where you're powerful, which is a state like in Punjab, in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh, in several states in South, where you're powerful, or at least you have a cadre there. You concentrate on those seats, you will win more seats. Karnataka also. You will emerge as a polar party around which the rest of the opposition would gravitate. What you are doing, you are still investing your energy in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, which is 120 Lok Sabha seats, where you have next to nil presence. What you do is you not only destroy your chance, you also destroy the chances of your coalition partner. But the biggest point is that everybody is, no, I will not tie up with Arvind Kejriwal, I will not tie up this. What desperate situation call for desperate measures. You have to understand that, but that is not happening. So I think this in itself is enough for the BJP to romp home.
Right.
So now you add Hindutva and Modi, you're sailing through. Who's stopping you?
Gautam, will you like to respond to that?
Well, this the coalition of the opposition is indeed very fraught, and it keeps changing moment to moment. The ability of each satrap to get anything outside of his bailiwick is nil. So, again, who's going to exert pressure on whom is a problem. Rahul Gandhi is not acceptable as a leader to anyone in the opposition, whether they say it plainly or whether they say it behind his back, because he's simply not capable. At the same time, ironically, his count is going to be higher than everyone else's, simply because even as a rump, the Congress party is bigger and better placed than many of the others. How this will pan out, the only time they'll come together is like sharks if they sense post the elections that by coming together we can actually wrest power from the BJP and the NDA. I can't see it really coming together prior to it and having any kind of glue. If we talk of Sharad Pawar, he is on his last legs. He is indeed, very wise and wily. But I don't think he's ever been much good at grabbing power right on top at the center.
Right.
He comes close, he plays with that, and he goes away. He couldn't do it as a young man. He can't do it now.
Right. So, but look at it, Suresh, Gautam and Brijesh, that usually an organizer article is very, it eulogizes and it kind of, we all sit there and we say, oh God, it's yet another hit job that they've done. But I think this is the first time, I mean, not the first time maybe, but in a long time, when the organizer has actually given rise to several difference of opinion,
Well, I think, there are columnists like, Jaggi and all, who have been following BJP very closely and been writing about it. They have also spoken and written about the need to reinvent the Modi and the Modi factor. And they have also, very, I would say very eruditely chronicled how Modi has reinvented himself just before election to take away the wind from the sails of the opposition party. So they all talk about this need to reinvent. Which is there, I mean, you can't keep on selling a hardcore Hindutva beyond a point. It becomes stale. It gets stale. There could be a point of time where people would start asking for jobs and other things, and they would say that it is somehow the sum is not adding up to what I have been promised.
Yeah, like but the Bajrang Bali didn't work.
The Bajrang Bali didn't work. But the point is that, Sudha, you also understand that it requires an opposition party. The reason Bajrang Bali didn't work was that Congress was very effective down there. That's why I said regional and regional. The regional parties are able to stop the BJP in assembly election. Right. It is not only there in Karnataka, but in several states.
Absolutely.
But the point is that when it comes to center, when it comes the Lok Sabha election, it becomes Modi versus who. And that is there where he runs away with the election.
Maybe we'll have an answer, this is, it's become an eternal question. But thanks very much, Gautam and Suresh, for joining us. It was a very riveting debate, and you, of course, Brijesh. Very, very good on the BJP. Thank you very much for all the news and analysis. This is your destination, News9 Live. Keep watching.